Wow, dark circles are crazy today. Oh wow. It's kind of dumb because I got a crazy amount of sleep last night. Maybe. Let's hope people turn up. Usually what happens is when I schedule a live, people don't come, and then when I just switch it on just spontaneously, people just arrive. So we'll see what happens. Hi. Oh my god, look at those dark circles. Hi, hi. Welcome, you guys. I see Emma from last week and basically all my previous lives. Alright, welcome. You guys, I have been. Hey, Tiffany, and everybody else. Oh, very nice. Welcome to Army Church, everybody. This is Pastor Jay welcoming you to Army Church. It is a beautiful Sunday morning, but today we are going to talk about a very serious topic. Hi, Niwi, Pam, Tiffany, Kim. All right, okay. So, you guys, just before this live came on, I was still even watching the news just so I could give you the absolute latest updates for what's going on with the world right now in terms of how things affect us here as a community, as an army community, as well as how things are going to affect BTS. Okay, so we're gonna talk about that in just a bit. First of all, let's talk about how we need to talk about how the coronavirus is doing, how it's doing, how it's affecting us, and then we'll talk about how it has already started affecting us in terms of like as a fandom or as a K-pop community. That just seems a bit secondary, but I want us to always be relevant to this being Army Church. So, yes. Okay. Hi. Okay, so first of all, the coronavirus is a very highly infectious virus that it has started affecting almost every country in the world now. In the last couple of days, countries that had 0 cases have started reporting singular cases, but singular cases usually leads to more. We are going to, first of all, talk about, just give a brief introduction to this virus so that you guys know the danger of it, the reason why the whole world has been freaking out, and the World Health Organization has currently declared it a global pandemic. So the coronavirus has affected China really badly, and the second most affected country is Korea. In a very distasteful, awful joke that my own brother made yesterday, he came over and he was like, Korea's now the number 2 most, highly infected country in the world. And then he laughed and then he told me, pray for BTS. And I punched him on the arm and asked him to fuck off. So, and then he laughed, which was really fucked up. So, okay. So here, we're not going to go into too much detail about where it originated, whatever. Everybody already knows. What I'm going to talk about is how it's affecting Korea right now and how it could affect us. I hope everybody is keeping safe. The best way, so Singapore has had cases of the coronavirus. Singapore is where I live. Singapore has had cases of the coronavirus for a long while now, and over a month, and our numbers have trickled up slowly, but a lot of the cases were due to Chinese nationals who come here to work. They brought it over, and the cases of community infection are kind of low. Most of it were Chinese nationals being infected, like coming over here and already being infected. So currently, our number is just around 100. I would say in the space of over a month and a half, for it being about 100 is okay. It's quite decent. Almost half of the people who have been infected have been released from the hospital with no issues. No issues at all. So, and no deaths here as well. So, actually, when we first started getting it, our numbers were pretty high compared to other people in the region. A week ago, exactly a week ago, no, okay, about 8 days ago, when Singapore had about 90 cases, Korea had about 35. 35, that's like a third. And today, which is 8 days later, Korea has 100 times of that. Today they reported 350 new cases, bringing it up to a total of 3,500 and something change cases. So I just watched the news before this live. There are 17 confirmed cases of soldiers being infected and 10,000 more who have been quarantined. 10,000. These numbers are accurate. I literally just watched the news and memorized the numbers. 10,000 more soldiers have been quarantined because they're a troop. They live together, eat together, breathe together, and if someone gets infected, the whole troop gets infected. I don't care if I'm scaring you. I need to scare you because I need you to know how dangerous this virus is. And the main cause of spread is someone who sneezes into the air. If you are standing within 1 meter of that person and you happen to breathe it in, there's a chance you could get it. But the more common way of it being spread is someone who has the virus has touched their mouth, touched their hand, coughed into their hand, or sneezed into their hand. They touch, for example, rails, like escalator belts, handrails on the stairs or whatever, and you're the next person to touch that, or even the 10th person to touch that, and you touch your face or you touch your eye, you rub your eye, you touch your mouth, the virus gets inside you and you get it. So that's a higher chance because of contact every day. So that's how this spreads within a community. So if you wear a mask, they said that the mask may not necessarily be 100% effective in protecting you. The best way to be protected is don't go outside. But okay, the best way to be protected is if a person who has potentially been infected wears a mask, and then you're also wearing a mask, and you don't ever touch anything, you won't get it, even if you're around a person who has been infected. There are times where I go to work and I do my job and I come home without touching a single foreign object except for my phone. I don't touch the railings, I don't touch my face. On the train, on the subway, I balance like I'm on a fucking surfboard so I don't fall down. I have my legs spread wide so I have good balance. Hand sanitizers are good also, but they said that eventually it might not be as effective, and you might, if the hand sanitizer is not good enough, it might just be spreading your germs all over your hands, and that the same goes for hand wipes. So yeah, the information has been released to us a long time ago because we were considered the highest in the region at the time, in the Southeast Asian region at the time, with like over 50 cases, while other countries had only 1. And now our number has decreased by a lot, and it's only very slowly trickling up. But other countries have spiked numbers like crazy, like it increases by like 100 every day. And Korea, for Korea, it increased by 100, and then 200, and then another 150, and then it went up by like another 350. And my friends in Korea are telling me that whatever the media tells you, the situation is like it's 110% worse than it actually is. We're gonna talk about how it spread in Korea in just a second. I just want to make sure that everybody really understands how highly infectious and dangerous this disease is. Okay, so if you have questions right now about like symptoms or spread or how you can contract it, even, you know, you can ask me now. I think like our country has dealt with it sort of the longest after China, just because we get a lot of Chinese nationals coming here as traffic, because we are sort of a hub for the Southeast Asian region, unfortunately. So yeah, we were the first to like be as safeguarded as possible. It was like a fucking ghost town, uh, for weeks. It still is pretty bad, but people are getting a little less. What are the visible symptoms? The thing with the coronavirus is that you can carry it within you for up to 2 weeks without it showing any symptoms at all. So, let me change my position for a second. Alright. You can carry the virus. Anybody can carry the virus. They can look perfectly healthy. They could be infected and not show any symptoms for up to 2 weeks. So a person who looks fine and they just like do a little cough or something, or just like, oh, it's nothing, like or give a little sneeze, because if the temperature change, it seems like nothing, but they could be infected. And if they touch you and or like you kiss them or whatever it is, you can still get it. The virus is contagious even when you're not visibly sick. The symptoms are you get a really raging fever. Not a really raging, it could just go up just a bit, gradual, like 37 and 38, 39. I'm doing degrees. I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit, okay? So one of the first symptoms is a fever. And usually what comes with that is a sore throat, although that's not necessarily one of the symptoms either. The symptoms are the same as the flu symptoms, and it seems like you're a flu that you're able to deal with, and then it attacks your body, your lungs can collapse, and there's an onset of pneumonia. And the thing with SARS is that SARS has a higher like kill rate. For people who contracted SARS, it's like almost a death sentence. You can definitely get better provided you go and see. First of all, there's many factors as to how you can recover from it. There have been many people in Singapore who have recovered from it. One of them including a 6-month-old baby. That was the youngest patient to be infected in Singapore. It was a 6-month-old baby. His parents had it, so he got it. So yeah, that was the youngest patient. And the oldest patient we have was like an 81-year-old guy, and he's fine also. Is it a man or a woman? I can't remember. 81-year-old patient, but that patient is fine now also. No deaths in Singapore because we have really excellent medical facilities, but also at the same time, the health and fitness of these individuals that were infected were actually pretty decent. And of course, so their bodies were able to fight the infection along with, you know, the medication and care from the hospital. So it depends on every individual. If you have if you're a smoker, for example, or you're around a lot of people who smoke, your lungs are already weakened, and when the pneumonia sets in, you are unable to fight the virus as effectively as someone who is healthy. So make sure, please keep your health up. Nowadays, drink a lot of water more than anything else. I say that as I have opened, as I drink my 100 plus. But yeah, you know, be as prepared as possible. The scariest thing is the part where the virus is not visible. It doesn't show itself until 2 weeks, about 2 weeks later. Bad asthma shows that you have underlying and like already set problems with your lungs, so that's bad as well. I'm not a doctor. I don't want to give like advice, but this is everything that I've already read up and what the news has been telling us. So I'll tell you what I do know, and if I don't know something, I'll tell you as well, where I won't pretend to know things that I don't know. So that's it. Everybody, please, please, please be careful. Avoid touching anything. Use cashless transactions. Just tap your card everywhere. Don't touch the card reader. Take out your card, tap it, and put it back in your wallet. Don't even take receipts. Why take receipts? You don't need them. You're gonna throw them away anyway. So, you know, just minimize contact as much as possible. Once you start like being really cautious, you'll realize how much you touch things that are not yours. Money is super dirty. Someone who just like rubs their nose like this, carries the virus on their finger, touches a dollar bill, hands it to you. You touch your nose or eyes, or you touch the face of a child or someone you love. You can give the virus to that person and also to yourself. So please, all these minor interactions count. So on the news that I watched earlier, there was this minister of social interactions of France. He has said, stop shaking hands and don't greet people the normal French way, which is to kiss people on the cheek and go mwah, mwah, like that. He's like, don't do that anymore, and just like hi from far, and like that's it. And I'm like, yeah, you know, that's a great way. And also like in Singapore, for Muslims, the normal way to greet someone is by a handshake as well, and then a touch to your heart. Or from younger to elder, they take the elder's hand and they touch it to their face. So that's dangerous as well. So yes, in school, it's you have slightly more danger and exposure, because there's so many people around you. But there are a lot of schools now that have implemented online classes. You could request, I guess, go to your school and see if you can take an online class or just download your notes. In college, you can definitely do that. I don't know about high school or lower, so you could always ask and keep yourself safe. You can have your parents write a letter and say that in this time of crisis, a potential spread in the community, in California, the numbers are rising already, but it is not really that well known. You have to keep looking up all this news on, like, for example, Twitter. There's a hashtag like just coronavirus or COVID-19. People in different communities are posting updates from their different communities, and a lot of these are also health care professionals, so they're trustworthy. These are doctors who are posting updates. So on Twitter, just go look for those hashtags and keep yourself updated. Follow only reliable news sources, or me, someone who keeps watching the news all the time and brings you reliable news. Yes, and keep yourself very safe and understand what's going on in your community as well. So I really hope that everybody stays very, very safe. And okay, now that we have talked about coronavirus in our community and the, you know, potentially how it could be in your community, as I was saying last week in last week's live, I said, if your country doesn't have it, it doesn't have it yet. You're gonna get it. If it's global, and because of how much traveling we're doing and how there are some people who are not aware, and also there are some people who just simply don't care. The virus is spreading. Ignorance also. I'm not gonna get it. I'm really healthy. That kind of attitude is really fucked up. And that kind of attitude happens here as well. You know, like my stupid brother and his stupid friends who are like, oh, you're wearing a mask? Oh, you're afraid of corona? That's like, it's so lame. Like, well, fuck you. I wanted to say I hope you get it, but that's awful, so I didn't. I thought it was good enough. So, okay. I'm human, okay? I react in a human way. So, okay, speaking of being human, let's talk about the reaction of the BTS concert being canceled in Korea. And then we're also going to mix this together with how bad the situation is in Korea right now, and how much, like, how crazy it's getting and how just scary it is. So a few days ago, it was announced officially that the concert was going to be canceled. The talk all of the BTS concert in Seoul being cancelled has been around for 2 weeks, and I pretty much was sure that it was going to be cancelled. So I didn't try very hard on ticketing, and yeah, my friend who was in Seoul was like, with the way things are going, it's gonna be canceled anyway. So you know, don't worry about ticketing. And then it did get canceled like a few days later, and Twitter, well, my Twitter at least, was filled with the cries of Korean armies, as well as a few international armies who had gotten tickets. But I just want to talk about the Korean armies. There were varied reactions. Now, I don't want you to hold anything against them. Someone who's upset will say horrible things, like the example I listed just now. I got made fun of for trying to be careful and trying not to get corona, and then they said I was lame, my brother's friends. And so I was like, fuck you. And inside I thought, fuck you, I hope you get it. That was mean. But because it was just like, not, I was upset. So again, you say things you don't mean when you're upset. And so in Korea, a lot of people were saying, like, it's unfair. And I'll tell you the reason why they said these things in just a second. Let me just tell you what happened, and then we'll talk about the reasons why it happened. Kiri, we're gonna stick to the topic, please. All right. So, what a lot of people said, that started a hashtag that said, "Don't cancel the concert, just delay it." And a lot of people started a hashtag that said, Big Hit was being unfair, and there were also these really awful. There are good reactions and bad reactions. Well, there were calm reactions and upset reactions. Some of the upset ones, the ones that sounded unfair, were BTS tours are supposed to start in Korea. If you cancel this concert, then they start in the US, and that is fucked up. And I don't want anybody here to hold this against them, because it's their tradition. It's something that has been done for 6 years, and people get upset when their traditions and their expectations, get killed. So of course they would think it's not fair. I expect the people listening here to be rational and understand the reasons behind their reactions. Okay? Like, first and foremost and bottom line always, BTS is a Korean band. And if tradition for all K-pop tours is that the tour starts in Seoul, it kicks off in Seoul, and then it goes elsewhere, then yeah, if people would be upset, like, oh my god, my concert got canceled, but the rest of the world is still getting theirs, so fuck them. How is this fair? Like, delay the whole entire tour. Of course, it does sound selfish, but like I said, they were upset. So then there were international armies who were attacking them, and they were like, you guys are selfish. Even if you don't care about your own health, why don't you care about BTS? It's just, oh my god, just shut the fuck up. You're not helping the situation. People are upset, just leave them alone. They'll realize what they said later. Yeah, exactly. They'll realize what they said later. They were just saying it because they were angry, and then later they'll realize that it was mean, and it was, well, I say it's mean like it's childish, but you guys know what I mean. Like, people are always sorry later. They'll say things in anger first. Let them. Don't aggravate the situation. It has not been long since we've had peace between Korean armies and international armies. Okay? I don't know how long you've been a fan, but I've been a fan for so fucking long. Since before they debuted. So for years there's been this divide. International armies are like, I hate K armies, they get everything better. And I'm like, what the fuck? They're Korean. Like, BTS is Korean. So of course they have fan signs in Korea. Of course they have more shows in Korea and music shows in Korea. It's like, are you stupid? Just stop being so immature. You love them, then understand. So then more educated, more mature, more rational people started becoming fans and started helping the rest of the community to be understanding about the situation. And finally, all the K armies and international armies were no longer divided by this label, and they are just armies. But of course, as a joke, everybody's united against Japanese armies because they get everything better, everything even better than the Korean armies. So it's whatever. That's just a joke. I don't really care. Okay, so yeah, and then a magical, beautiful thing started happening. All the Korean armies that were mad before, they calmed down, and when they received their refunds from Interpark, they donated their ticket money to funding for helping out the fight against Corona, for buying masks, for just getting help and getting I don't know what it is, but it's a fund in Korea. And so all the people that we thought were just awful before, see, I told you, they realized, and they were so sweet about it in the end. So all the international armies that had to open their mouths and be fucking critical, all you had to do is just leave them alone, bro. They realized it on their own. The most loving community that loved BTS first was the Korean armies, are the Korean armies. So sit the fuck down and take a back seat. They'll do what needs to be done, okay? You don't need to interfere here. And of course, like, if you're trying to calm down a person who has just lost their concert when you still have your concert, yeah, I'm pretty sure I would resent you too. Like, if I lost my concert and you still had a concert and you're just like, it's okay, I'm like, fuck you, okay? You still have your concert. Shut the fuck up. I'll deal with it myself. So, yeah. I thought the people who interfered were kind of stupid. And really, just you don't have to have a say in everything. You don't have to poke your nose into everything. Just shut the fuck up. Anyway, okay. So now that we've talked about that concert being canceled, we're gonna talk about like how bad it is in Korea, and I'm gonna tell you how bad it's about to get in the U.S. and all your concerts are in danger of being canceled too. Oh, you just noticed RJ? Yeah, I've been hugging him this whole time. There's oh no wait, there is another RJ there as well. Oh no, I shouldn't mess with my tripod. Like it's so dangerous. Okay, so hey, Georgie, what's up? Glad you could make it. We were just talking about the situation of the concert being canceled in Seoul, how the people reacted, how they eventually reacted, and how other concerts are definitely in danger of being canceled as well. Excuse me. Speaking of things being canceled, since Georgie's here, my Bon Voyage Season 4 trip to New Zealand to copy everything the boys did is also in danger of being canceled because one of our group members that is going, her flight has been canceled. She got an email saying, your flight's canceled. Then the rest is your problem. And that's really fucked up. So now I don't know what's gonna happen now. Like travel all over the world is getting restricted now. Like just when it's like getting better in my country, and I thought like, okay, it's getting better, then other countries weren't really affected in the first place. But then now it's getting like spiked in other countries and it's getting worse in other countries. So it's only just the beginning now. Did they refund her money? It's a partial refund, which is really fucked up. And Asiana Airlines just told me also a couple of days ago that I can only get like 50% of my money. Oh. Do you hear the bells? Can you hear the bells? I love these bells. On the first of every month at noon, every church in Singapore rings bells. So it's just like really beautiful. So the sounds of bells goes through the whole country. Okay. What were we going to talk about? Yeah. So flights are getting canceled. Travel is getting restricted. And my friend who got her flight canceled, she is Korean. And she's from Daegu originally. And she's currently in New York studying. She doesn't live in Daegu anymore, okay? Just saying. She's currently in New York studying for a semester, and now she's worried about whether she can even get home. So it's really sad. So I told her, if the situation doesn't get any better when your semester ends, then you should come over to Singapore and live with me. Yeah, that would be amazing. I would love to have her here. But okay, let's not digress from the topic any further. We're supposed to be talking about the spread of the virus in Korea, and I want to talk about the cultural aspects of why it's spreading. So earlier we talked about how the French prime minister for like culture was saying like abandon culture right now, where you handshake or you kiss the cheeks in the French greeting way. And there were other cultures that are also saying drop the cultural practices and just no touching, minimize contact just to keep yourself safe. So the thing in Korea is that Korea is a very stubborn country. They're so stubborn and set in their ways, and especially since a lot of the people are late. Okay, the problem with a lot of countries that have only one type of people, as in one ethnicity, as like a 99% of their country, then everybody just only knows one way. And then they refuse to even consider changing their ways. I'm about to talk about some of these ways in just a second, but we're going to talk about why the country is stubborn, because I don't want to say things without basis. And I know I don't want to sound critical as well and just say, oh, Korea is stubborn, they suck. No, that's not what I mean. I just need you guys to understand what the culture is like there. So the longest I've ever stayed in Korea wasn't very long, it was 5 weeks. And but even in that time I got to experience a lot of the culture there, because I didn't go as a tourist, you know. So anyway, maybe if I go there on vacation it's called me being a tourist, I guess. I just wanted to correct myself there. Okay, so some of the culture in Korea is like, even when you're eating food, it's always sharing. It's one big pot that's meant to be shared by at least 2 people. And imagine taking food, putting the chopsticks to your mouth and dipping them back in there. That is a common practice. I really don't like that, but I have no choice but to participate in such cultures. I'm so happy I'm not there anymore. But like, I'm quite like germophobic, and I'm very conscious of what my things touch. And yeah, so that's I believe that's one of the big reasons why the virus is spreading so quickly. Communal eating. And I don't know what goes on in that cult church thing that's happening. That was happening in Daegu, that spread to all over Korea. But I bet you they were doing things where like everybody drinks from like one cup to symbolize that we are one people and we're all of the same floaty religion. Yes. So because I can't fucking comprehend how the virus would spread to every single member of that cult if you didn't do that. If you were just like breathing next to me, I might not get it. I might not. There's like 50-50 chance that I would get it. But why is it that like at least 90% of the members of the cult have gotten it? They must have done. I mean, my mind went to like mass orgy, but these people are like old. So I don't think that was happening. So I'm sorry, okay? I'm imaginative. I'm a fanfic writer, so my mind goes there. So yes. It's not an orgy, it's probably communal eating and drinking. So that's probably what happened to spread the disease so quickly in that particular community, that particular group. So yes. I hope all of you are mature. I don't care about age. You just need to be mature to understand that I make these jokes. Yesterday, there was also the news about this woman, this Daegu woman, who was pretty young. Remember I was talking about them being a stubborn culture. This does not apply to only the older people. There was this person who was trying to avoid being tested at the hospital, and someone was trying to make her, a healthcare worker was trying to make her get tested and trying to help her. She spit on him on purpose, even though she was suspected of having the disease. Can we call it a disease? Yeah. She spit on him, and which is really super fucked up because she knew she was sick. She was sick, and she spit on him. And yeah, there were other cases of people who refused to be tested, and they go around, they carry on infecting other members of the community by participating in their same culture, which is shared eating, communal eating. And of course, look at it, you know, Koreans have a lot of side dishes with their main dishes, right? In homes, what happens is you open the container of side dishes. They don't take out a set amount. They put that same container on the table. They use their chopsticks to eat, and they put it to their mouths, and they take more stuff from that container. When they're done eating, they just cover the container and they put it back. This is what happens in homes. And pretty sure it's what happens in restaurants too, because so that's another fantastic way of contracting the disease from your family member. And also another thing is if you spent any time in Korea and you walked down like maybe less touristy areas, everybody just spits because so many members of the population smoke. Young people, old people, women. It's so common. Everybody smokes. And there's a lot of spitting going on. It's like and then they just spit anywhere and everywhere, even indoors, in like subway stations. I saw it with my own fucking eyes, and it was disgusting. And they spit all over. A person who is infected spits while you're walking. You could be breathing in that virus, and then you could contract it straight away. Why do you think the number of people contracting the disease is going so fast? Lack of hygiene and lack of etiquette. Like, what low class behavior is spitting everywhere? It's really gross. So you can see so many of these. Like, these seem like minor. No, it's not racist to say that their practices are gross. Racist is having a specific hatred towards another ethnicity, but saying something is gross, I think we can all universally agree that spitting out in public everywhere is gross. There's nothing wrong with criticizing like ugly behavior. It doesn't mean that you're racist. It just means that you find it gross. Everybody finds it gross. No one is gonna say, "Oh, spitting," you know. No, it's like, what? Gross, spitting. So, oh shit. Okay, sorry. Yeah, yes, we should be worried about BTS. I am very, 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 very worried. And they're around so many people all of the time. Just go home, spend. No, I don't know. Maybe home might not be the safest. Okay, Yoongi doesn't go home. Yoongi should go to Namjoon's home. Where's the safest right now? I read that Busan doesn't have a lot of cases, but Busan is really close to like Cheongdo, so nowhere is safe. Nowhere is safe. They all live together, yeah, but if they're gonna go home, I'm talking about being home with parents. Namjoon's really close. Namjoon's the closest. Second closest is Jin, so if they want to go home and have like a sense of family, then that's what I'm saying is like go to somewhere you feel more comforted when you're with parents, no matter how old you get. And in a time of crisis like this, it's nice, you know, to go home and mom and dad are gonna tell you it's gonna be okay, we're together. And then mom makes a nice meal and then you eat together. No, don't eat together. No, eat separate meals. Oh no. Oh my god. Oh no, how do we help them? Maybe they should just all like eat individually from now on. Just oh my god, stop sharing everything. Another Jeju Island? Are you serious? Jeju was like the second to be infected after Daegu. I hope you're keeping up with the news. Like, yeah. Jeju Island, massive infection. The whole island is like in danger. So hard to eat this fruit. Yes, oh my god, everyone eat cup ramen like all the time until this whole thing is over. This is an English speaking live, so if you could speak English where everyone can understand, that would be great. Person who just commented. Okay. So, yesterday I saw someone post. Okay, so we're gonna continue talking about how quickly this thing is spreading in Korea. In every country, there's gonna be people who are like have such like a terrible attitude. It's like, oh, how can you be afraid? Like, why fear the virus? You're so lame. You're so stupid. I talked about this just now. Some of my brother's friends are like that. There are plenty of people in Korea who are like that. Recently, I went onto this like I attended my friend's live, and my friend is a small time rapper in Korea. And so I went to the live and I said, be careful of the coronavirus, take care. And then he saw my comment and then he just like, he repeated it to his friend in a mocking way and then laughed. And then so I'm like, Again, my instant reaction is always, I hope you get it. Anyone who laughs whenever I say be careful, I don't mean it, but you know, I mean, it's like it's childish, but you know, just it's like the best way to make you understand why people are afraid or why people are like taking care. I cared about you enough to say take care in the first place, but if you're just gonna be like making a mockery out of my concern, then fuck you. So, okay. Anyway, he posted yesterday a a video of the line of people queuing for masks, and the line was like so fucking long. It was winding around and around and around, and it was super long, and people were waiting outside. I would say in the cold, it's not that cold now, but yeah, and the government is issuing like are putting out centers where they're going to give out masks to the community. But so it's a risk between going out and going outside and risking, you know, getting this virus if you're not careful in order to get the masks, or staying at home and not getting the masks. It's a risk you take. But anytime you go outside, just make sure not to touch anything. Like I said, I have little alcohol wipes that I use to disinfect my phone screen all the time. It's a habit I've had since last year. And so all my germaphobe habits are like so helpful, and I feel like I'm in a position of power. I feel so smug. It's like the rise of the germaphobes. We're safe. I mean, okay, fingers crossed it stays that way. But yeah. It makes me feel like, okay, my practices are now normal. I am not like, I am no longer the weirdo freak who is afraid of everything. I am the safe person who doesn't have to change her habits because they were good habits in the first place. Okay. Any questions about the whole Korea update situation? Somebody was saying that maybe they should have postponed the tour, but the concert in Korea is like 2 weekends, and then the following weekend immediately is already in California. So there is nowhere that they could have postponed it to. Like there are no dates to postpone it to. I just recovered from my cough. And I'm eating this fruit. It's so sweet. I'm gonna get a cough again. I guarantee. Okay. So, the 2 unknown dates in June is supposed to be muster. But of course you don't know anymore with the situation in Korea. Do you think they would try to do a final in Seoul? There is always a final. Always. Tours always start in Seoul and finish in Seoul. That is the way every K-pop band does it. It's out of respect to the country that they come from. And also it's like, they're saying we don't forget our roots. We give you the first and we give you our last, because this is where we were born and where you raised us and where we got our fame first. So it will have a final in Seoul, like if things are better by then. So it's just like everything was already set, and it's just the first part got cut away, but the rest of it still continues and will go on. It's so hot in my room. I hate it. Like I want to switch on like better, fan thing, but it's loud and you guys might hear it, so it's okay. Jimin will keep me cool. Oh, speaking of finals, I got this from Speak Yourself the Final. Yeah. Most of the armies are willing to wait for the postponement. The thing is, have you guys seen the tour dates? It's continuous. They have no break for months. So where and when are they going to postpone it to? Let me tell you how much work goes into planning a concert and how long it takes. I have a live on this already. I already did a live on it previously. It's called Why BTS Isn't Going to Your Country, and you guys talk about postponement as if it's just let's pick another date and then we'll go for that one. This requires, it's not a flight, it's not a bus ticket, it's not, something as simple as that. Planning these things involves so many different organizations that come into making one single concert. Also, the planning, the permissions, your permits that you have only for, let's say, fireworks, you need a permit for that. And your permit, and then shooting fireworks up into the air, you have to warn things, like you have to know, you have to warn people about the airspace, and you have to have permits, like I said, for fireworks. You have to have permits for the moving vehicles that are within the stadium. You have to have all permits to fill up the whole stadium. You have to have enough security. You have to have enough first aid people present. So these are all things you have to hire before the concert. And it takes a long time. You have to prepare months. So you can't just postpone it to the next weekend. Maybe that would have been possible. But to postpone it, when are you going to postpone it to? You don't know. You don't even know what the situation is going to be like. So they're just going to cancel Seoul entirely and immediately start with the US, which is immediately start with the following weekends after Seoul, which is in Santa Clara for the first weekend of May. So I hope you understand better. I'm sorry if I sound like I'm trying to really drill it into you, because I am. I need you to understand how much work goes into a concert, and I need you to understand you need to put the company first above your disappointment right now, because they are just as disappointed as you. And trust me when I say how much BTS wanted to fucking do the concert, okay? Especially Jungkook, who loves performing for you ARMYs. I mean, for us ARMYs. What am I saying? For us ARMYs, he must have been incredibly disappointed. It's their first concert with their own choreography, and a first concert with the Black Swan choreography. And now we're going to talk about, that's a good question, what if Big Hit adds more dates in the US? They recently just added another date for Rose Bowl, and the thing is, I read just 2 days ago that the numbers of infections in California is rising, and it is due to community spread. What community spread means is that it's not due to people from outside carrying it in. It may have, the number of infections. For example, if they have 30 infections and 2 are community spread, that means it's kind of safe, because 18 were people who traveled to that area and reported being sick in that area. So that's fine. But community spread means the people who started being confirmed as cases who have been infected, they have not traveled anywhere, don't seem to remember coming into contact with other sick people, and so it means they probably got it from, like I said, touching a handrail of a person who has been sick, touched before, or somebody sneezed when they were walking by or something like that. That is community spread. And community spread has started in Southern California. So in SoCal, San Diego has already started imposing certain measures to prevent more spread and things like that. San Diego and LA are not that far. I remember making a drive before from LA to San Diego. If I can drive there, it means it's not that far. So with Rose Bowl being in LA and being the second weekend of May, yeah, I would think that actually there is a large possibility of the concert getting canceled because it's like 2 months away. 2 months away, and the virus has only just started being spread in the community this week. Just this week. It doesn't take a month to get over. When a spread just starts, the numbers are going to spike because symptoms only show after 2 weeks. So right now, so that means every 2 weeks you're going to see the numbers grow fucking a lot. So we won't like see anything be resolved in like the space of a month or two. Even if a month or two the number of infected people have reduced, why would they still have concerts, which like puts everyone back in danger, back in square one? And trust me when I say there are definitely people who are stupid enough and also selfish, I would say selfish enough, to risk other people's health and go to a BTS concert even if they're sick. Trust me, you know this is true. You know that there are gonna be people like this, and they'll be like, "Oh, wear a mask, it's fine." Come on, you're gonna take off your mask and you're gonna scream for BTS, and then all your little like saliva droplets are just gonna spread around the whole fucking section, and your entire section is gonna get sick, and that section is gonna take home their virus and spread it to other sections. And yeah, so this is the reason why the concerts should be canceled. I mean, I don't want it to be canceled. I want to go to the Rose Bowl show, but what am I gonna do? I'm really thinking about this. I'm really worried. If our tickets get canceled, we get all our money back, right? From Ticketmaster? Right? Right? Oh my god. Okay, great. To the person that said that this was your first BTS concert for Seoul, you got a ticket for Seoul, I'm really sorry that you were unable to attend. But health is first, and there's gonna be other shows. For sure. I mean, look, the national... I can't believe the military decided not to call Jin for enlistment, but I bet you because BTS is making so much money for Korea and doing Korea like such a great service that they decided not to call Jin for military service, even though Jin is registered and he was on standby for it. So is Namjoon and Yoongi. They've already gone for their military service checkups, which is fucking hilarious. Namjoon, my baby, basically an idiot outside anytime he's not on the stage. But yeah, so they've done all that they need to do, and they're waiting to be called. But I guess they're not going to be called upon just because they're doing so much for the country, the economy, that they're just basically working for the country, I guess. And the country's like, okay, we can't afford to lose one of our national treasures and our major source of income and tourism income. So yeah, their popularity really like exempted them, even though they didn't want it, to be honest. Everybody, don't forget, in case you're here new and you didn't get the information before, you can go to the COVID-19 hashtag on Twitter, or just like search up coronavirus on Twitter, and you should be able to see updates by healthcare professionals, by doctors, by just people from different communities giving updates from their respective communities, and this involves like people from different countries as well as different parts all over the US. So if you are interested to know if your concert might get canceled, look for the information for your particular community, in case a lot of people have to make plans in advance, like travel plans. You have to take take days off from work, and you have to call it in. I mean, you have to like what was I gonna say? Yeah, you have to take time off work. All of these things take time. So if you are worried, like let's say you haven't arranged certain things yet and you don't know if you should or if you want to, then go look up the information and excuse me, you should be able to tell whether it's gonna get a lot worse in your community or not, and whether, or the community where the concert is gonna be held, and then you'll be able to tell like whether the concert is gonna be canceled. I am really betting that it will be, because everything in April, of course, is getting canceled just because it's March now. And a month goes by really fucking quickly. And the cases of coronavirus are expected to rise in Korea by the thousands in the next few weeks. It was projected already. It was said in the news earlier. The cases are expected to rise by the thousands. In 1 week, it went up to 3,500. In a couple of weeks more, it's probably going to go up to 10,000. And then it takes months, maybe even a year to recover. Just crap. Hannah, that's a very good question. I think if they have to cancel enough shows, eventually they'll just do like they won't do the whole tour. You were supposed to fly to Korea this week? Oh my goodness. I was supposed to fly for the concert dates for 2 weeks in April. They better give me back a full refund. Like, what the fuck? I hope they do. I'm gonna call them tomorrow, which is Monday. They should give me back a full refund if they're not flying to Korea. I hope they don't. And then they can give me back a full refund. And I don't know what's gonna happen to my New Zealand trip. I'm especially worried about that. I was talking to my friend a couple of days ago, and I said, like, the concert really isn't that important to me because I've seen like half the content from this upcoming concert, because half the content is from the Persona album anyway. And I've already been to like to Speak Yourself concerts, so like, sure, I won't get to see like Black Swan or On or Louder Than Bombs, which I adore. Who said that I would like this song? There was somebody in a live that said I would love this song, and I was like, no, I don't think so. We have such different preferences. And then they were like, no, you're gonna love it. I'm like, yeah, I fucking love it now. Yeah, I won't be able to see this, but the New Zealand trip is so important to me because it's meant to be an army trip with my army friends. And they're flying in from different parts of the world. Like, Minju's coming from Korea, Georgie's coming from New Jersey, and I mean, Hunsu is from Korea too, but she's coming from Singapore, like me. So, you guys, the New Zealand trip is so important to me. I hope it happens. Do we have any questions? Any more questions? If not, then we might wrap this up, and you know, as I promised last week, because we didn't get to listen to, I asked you guys to vote for Jimin's Lie or Jungkook's Begin, and Jimin's Lie won, so I said we would listen to Jungkook's Begin live here. It was his first ever performance of Begin. He cried after the performance. He said he had a lot of like mistakes, which nobody saw. We were too busy being in awe of the fact that Vegan had choreography, and we were like, what? Mind blown. And Jin's not going to military. He said it was in the, he said for now, they're not going. It was in the conference, the press conference thing. He said, anytime the military calls me to go, I'm ready. So that means he hasn't been called yet. His enlistment year was by right the previous year. He was supposed to go by the end of the year, but he hasn't. So as of now, nothing has been decided yet. He said not yet. So it's not that he's not going. It's just that it's all up in the air right now because they are a major source of income for Korea. They increased the national earnings of the country. I don't know the correct financial term for it, by billions. There was some documentary on it last year. I was in the documentary. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I was in the documentary, and I was in the background, and people kept screenshotting, and they saw me, right? So they saw me and they're like, oh my god, it's Jay. Then they screenshotted it, and by the time they screenshotted it, it was a screenshot of me with half noodles coming out of my mouth because I was eating fucking noodles. And everybody sent me that particular screenshot, and they're like, isn't this you? Isn't this you? And I'm like, oh my god, stop sending me this screenshot. But yeah, it was amusing. Also super embarrassing. But yeah, I was in this. And somebody was like, this Korean girl texted me after a whole year of us just not being in contact. She texted me and she was like, Onni, is that you? And then I was like, how do you even know it's me? You haven't seen me for over a year. And she was like, I recognize your necklace. And I'm like, wow, what the fuck? That's amazing. They recognized me. They recognized this. I love this necklace, by the way. I got it in Hawaii when I was doing Bon Voyage version 2 in Hawaii. It's so beautiful. It's a wave. Pado. Pado is wave in Korean. Pado is part of 0 o'clock. No, Pado is part of Louder Than Bombs. So, yeah. Yeah, I was eating noodles at the place where BTS used to go as trainees. And it was in Rookie King. I don't know if you guys have watched that series. And so this restaurant is famous for being the place that BTS went to every day as trainees. And their menu has their menu points out what BTS like to eat specifically. So I went there to eat, and that was the day that I think it was SBS or whatever, some other Korean broadcasting company that came over to do a documentary on BTS, and they came over and I was there. So that's why you can see me eating in the background. And they didn't even ask me permission. They had the camera aimed in my direction specifically. I think it's to show the number of foreigners that come to Korea because of BTS. And it's you could have just asked my permission. It is actually illegal to put me in your documentary without asking my permission first. I studied media and communications, bitch. I know my media law. So I could have sued, but of course I'm not going to. You can look up this documentary. I can't remember the name of it. If you look up my video for this restaurant, I have a video of the cameras pointed at me on the day they did this interview, so you can see that. The video is called, what's the name of the restaurant? Yudong Sikdang. YOOJUNG SIKDANG. Yudong Sikdang, the restaurant that BTS used to go to as trainees. So you just search on YouTube for my channel name, Jaehimangi, and Yudong Sikdang, and you should be able to see that. And it also shows you everything, like the whole BTS menu, and then the lady comes over and tells us what BTS likes to eat and stuff like that. And I translated it. I put subs. I put subtitles. I always put subtitles in all my videos that involve Korean, and I work really hard in my videos. Please watch it. Please support me. The videos are all in a playlist called BTS Places You Can Go To in Seoul. I go to all the BTS related places and I translate everything for you. And I tell you how to get there. There's like an address listed. I show you the way. And I show you a tour of the place in case you're never gonna go. I also go to places BTS have done photo shoots. Like, I think one of my favorite ones is like there was this poster Yoongi did where it looked like he was in this tunnel. What was it? It was for you know, all the individual posters that they have, like Jungkook was in a wheelchair, and or Namjoon was on a bus or something like that. What is it called? Which comeback was this? Love yourself, Heart. Thank you. Yes, all their little individual highlight reel. Thank you very much. That's exactly what I was looking for. I went to some of those places and I showed you how to go and like figured out where they took the photos. So yeah, watch those. I think also the video is called Yoongi photo shoot location, and Namjoon bench. There's a bench in a park in Seoul with like Namjoon's lyrics on them, and it's amazing. It's done by Han Juni, I think, if I'm not wrong. You saw my video? Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate the support. It's not always easy to find those places, but yeah, I had fun going to them. Okay, so does anybody have any questions, like any final remarks? And then if not, then I'm gonna play the song and we're gonna go. I got flagged for copyright in the previous live, so I'm not sure if I want to keep going with this song every live kind of tradition. We might embark upon a different tradition starting next week, but yeah, I did promise you the Jungkook song, so we're gonna listen to that live. You won't be able to see me eat noodles in my video because I'm filming, so but I think I have the screenshot. So did that happen last year? If it happened last year, I might have a screenshot here. Let me see. Oh, no, wait. It happened last year, but it was on my new phone, so I don't have it here. Talk about YouTube deleting views. I'm not gonna talk about that. We're just gonna stick to the topic that we are supposed to talk about. This kind of shit thing happens every movie, every music video comeback released. They have a right to delete their views because not all of it is counted. Okay? It's last week you said you were gonna post in the community tab some video about the Wings tour, about the stage, or some part of it becoming Wings. Yes, you told us to remind you last week. But see, and then after we get off this live, I'm probably gonna forget again because I have so many things to do, you guys. It would be helpful if you actually commented it on any video because I get the notification, then it stays in my notification, and then I'll see it whenever I open the YouTube app. So it's better if you do that, if you help me out with that. Honestly, I have so many things to do. I still have 2 more translations to do. I haven't translated Moon or 0 o'clock for you guys yet, so I need to do that after this. So So, yeah. I hope you're following me on Twitter as well. So, if you can't see whenever I post the translation here on the community tab, it's a bit small, I know. So you can just save the picture from my Twitter. My Twitter is ssbts_mama. And yeah, if you can, I'm gonna post the translation later today, and you can definitely download it if you do enjoy my translations. Anyway, if I do say so myself, I have better translations than a lot of people. And after I posted the Bulletproof the Eternal translation, I showed it to my Korean friends who can speak English very well, and they said it was an excellent translation. That was very, very accurate as it can get. So, and more poetic, I guess. So please support my translations. I miss it. I miss doing it, actually. I haven't translated for so long. It feels good. But okay, are you guys ready then for the song? Then I gotta go. I'm supposed to go buy lunch from my mom also. Okay. This song is 5 minutes long. And this is Jungkook's first ever performance of Begin, performed on 18th February 2017. You guys ready? You excited? Ready? It's a remix. It sounds freaking amazing. You guys heard this before? cry. Is that the end of the thing? Okay. I'm sorry if I cut it off abruptly, but I think it was the end. If it's not the end, then probably I cut off the recording because somebody was coming, like a guard. Usually guards walk around and they see if you're touching your phone or not. Even if you're texting, like they look at you to see if you're actually texting or if you're just like doing this, but then later you lift your camera up to take like video or whatever. I have posted on my channel a live that I did after I got kicked out of Third Muster for recording. I got kicked out, so that was really fucking fun. Yeah, I got kicked out. No, in Seoul, it's very, very strict. No videos, no recording, no nothing. I'm always amazed that people don't know this. It is so fucking strict. But then again, I guess I'm not that surprised because everywhere else you're allowed to record, but in Seoul you're not. So you don't see people holding up your phone to record. Everyone just sits. And I've only been caught one time, but that one time they kicked me out. And it was not fun. And outside there were girls begging to be let back in. They were crying. They were on their knees and begging the security people to let them back in. The security guy was very sorry too. He said, "I'm really sorry, but I'm not allowed. It's my job. Like, I'm so sorry." And he sounded truly very, very sorry. And I was feeling pretty shitty also, but not as shitty as these girls. I had a ticket for the next day, but they didn't. I heard them say it. They said this was their only chance because they had to go home. Like, so I always say this about people who say Korean armies get to just, see BTS whenever they want. There are a lot of people, Korea is a fucking big place. There are a lot of people who sometimes don't get to see BTS at all, even though they live in the same country. These girls, they managed to get a ticket, but they live very far away, so they were there for the Saturday show, and then they didn't have a ticket for Sunday because Sunday they had to travel home by bus. I have a friend, the friend who saw my necklace thing, the one who said, "Onni, is that you?" because of my necklace. She lives 9 hours away from Seoul by bus. So yeah, she usually doesn't get to see 2 shows on both weekend days. She sees Saturday and then Sunday she goes home. So a lot of the girls have to do that. And these girls were begging, and I was gonna cry. I was just standing there. I walked away and decided that it's fine, because when I got kicked out there was only 10 minutes left to the show, so I didn't feel too bad. And I already got to see, this isn't something fun to brag about, but I already got to experience crying with Taehyung when he was talking about his grandma passing away, and everybody in the stadium cried together. I don't remember, it says day 1 or day 2, but anyway. Day one. He cried on day one. The whole stadium cried. It was mass crying of like 20,000 armies when he talked about that. And then he cried. Jimin cried with him. Other members were trying not to cry, but they cried a little bit. Yeah. So you can watch that live. You can say you can search on my channel "Kicked Out of Third Muster." It's the third one. Yeah, "Kicked Out of Third Muster," and then I did a live walking around, and I went to buy merch just because the merch store was gonna open soon. So yeah. So I guess lots of videos to search. Go through my channel. There's a lot to watch. Yeah. Anyway. Third Muster is always really fun. I probably have songs from Third Muster. Maybe we should, if I'm gonna get flags, I might as well do everything today. Third Muster. Day 1 or day 2? Day 2. I have a huge Third Muster poster on my wall. That's why I referred like over there to see what the dates are. November 12th is the first one. November 12th, 2016 is Third Muster Day 1, and November 13th is Third Muster Day 2. I have the Aegyo line, or do you want Tony Montana? Tony Montana with Yoongi and Jimin on Third Muster Day 2. Do you want to listen to that? And then we'll just end it. How about next Army Church, I talk about the different concerts that I've been to and tell you the stories from them. I've got a ton of stories, like just talking about BTS and Army experiences that I've had, and I would love to share this with you. Everybody agree on that? Our next Army Church talk? Okay. We can talk about, like, you know, if you have questions, like how I bought tickets, how like I prepared for every concert, what I experienced at different concerts. I've been to concerts in other countries as well, so I could talk about that. Okay, great. We have our topic all set. Now, are you guys on for Tony Montana with Yoongi and Jimin? So a little short backstory about Tony Montana. So for Third Muster, BTS always surprises us for Muster, and we had no idea what the units were going to be except for Namjoon and Jungkook, because they already released the Arayo song, which is I Know. So they were a unit, and then we didn't know how the other boys were gonna pair up as units or group up as units. So the first unit to come out was of course Namjoon and Jungkook. And I was sad because I was on the right side of the stage, and the right side on the first day had like Jungkook, and I was like, no, Namjoon's so far away. Like, not to say that I don't love having Jungkook in front of me, but you know my bias is Namjoon, and like he was so far away, and then I was like, well, fuck, because on day 2, my ticket is on the right again, and then so I'm like, well, fine, you know, both days I'm just gonna be that far away from him. But yeah, but day 2, Namjoon's on my side. Okay, but I'll say that. I'll say all of that in the next Army Church. But since we're listening to Tony Montana, I'll just quickly tell you about Tony Montana first. On day 1, nobody was fucking expecting Tony Montana. Namjoon and Jungkook were first, and then next was the Aegyo line. Aegyo line consists of Hobi, Taeyong, and Jin, and they did the medley, title tracks medley, in this like baby way. So and then we were like, okay, Yoongi and Jimin are gonna be a unit. We didn't know. I thought Yoongi's gonna do a solo, and Jimin's gonna do a solo, and I was like so happy and excited at first. I was like, Jimin's finally having the confidence to do something by himself, but no. He came out during Yoongi's Tony Montana, and I was like, what? Oh my god, it was fucking amazing. And then And okay, damn, this is another story, but since it's to do with Tony Montana. So Jimin was talking about the song and how he like wrote his rap part, and he was worried about how to do it, and he went to Namjoon for help, and Yoongi was upset and sad. He was like, it's my song and we're a unit together, but you went to Namjoon, and he was so offended. He was really offended. Kind of mad. You could see he was kind of mad. He was really offended, and it wasn't rehearsed because you can see how mad he was. Like, he was so surprised when he found that out, and Kajima was saying it on stage, and Namjoon was like, I helped him, and then oh my god, it was so sad. I felt so bad for him. Jimin felt bad too, I guess. But anyway, yeah, so for day one, because Tony Montana is from Yoongi's August D mixtape, it's a solo mixtape, right? And there are no fan chants for unofficial songs. But because like this was so fucking amazing, this unit, and for Jimin to try his hand at rapping for the first time, we were so supportive. For day one, we had no fan chants, and by the time everybody got home, it was midnight because it ended at like 10 o'clock. And yeah, by the next day, everybody had memorized fan chants for Tony Montana, and we did Tony Montana. So I think this is day two. Day two of Tony Montana. I didn't record audio on the first day. I had video on the first day because I got caught, and a lot of my videos got deleted by the fucking security. For the next day, I didn't dare to risk any videos at all, and for day two, I have a lot of audio instead. Because I can just put my phone in my lap and it can record. I was not that far. I was not ground, but I was on first floor near the secondary stage. So I can't remember the quality. We'll check it out right now. You guys ready? I have recently deleted. No? What do you mean? I don't know what you said. Never mind. Let's go. Are you hearing the fan chants? last few seconds. The person next to me was so excited. She was telling me how it was so 대박이야. Really amazing. It really was incredibly fucking lit. It was so, oh my god. Yoongi just should have his own concert where he just performs his entire mixtape. They should try that. They should try that. Like, just put out a solo concert. I bet you it'll still sell out. Oh, speaking of Yoongi, let's see whether you can see this. See that? I forgot I was wearing that. It says, sorry, sugar is mine. Sorry, Namjoon. Sorry, baby. Alright, we can do this around. Okay, you guys ready to say goodbye? I got this from Third Muster too. Remind me to tell you that story. I have a lot. I'll bring out like the others, I guess. Okay, I hate to say goodbye, but it's been a fun time. My darlings, my brethren, this has been Pastor J, and this has been another fun episode of Army Church. Okay, we will make the next episode focus on musters and other concerts, I guess. Yeah, I have a ton of concert stories. I've been to like 11, 12, maybe. I will calculate the number properly so that I can tell you factually next live. So, bye guys. See you next live. Adios.